Juan Lobito Fernandez. How are you doing today?
I'm good, good. Very well. How are you?
Good. Uh, so to start off, what was your time playing at Temple like?
It was probably one of the highlights of my career so far. I really enjoyed college. Being an international player, it at the time it was more than 10 years ago. It was something that was not really normal for us. You might see a lot more international players in college today than it was back then. So it was a big deal for me, and I really took advantage of it. Today, everyone who asks me or players from Argentina or from around the world who are have the chance to go and play in college basketball, I always recommend it to them. To me, it was a really great experience on the court and also off the court. I mean, I left there with a great knowledge of basketball, but also with a degree. So that's going to stay with me for the rest of my life.
Uh, and at your time at Temple, you were Atlantic 10 All Conference third team, All Conference honorable mention, and Atlantic 10 most outstanding performer in the Atlantic 10 tournament.
Mm.
What was it like getting those achievements when you were in college?
It was something that I wasn't expecting to get before I got there. It was really something. Everything was really new for me. I experienced things that I never thought about experiencing. The country and the infrastructure and the league was all very different to what I was used to. So my main focus was on enjoying myself, getting better, and trying to get my team to win. Everything that came after it was all obviously very exciting, and I was always very grateful. But it wasn't something that I planned before. I wasn't going there to get those acknowledgments, even though it's something that it also stays with me for the rest of my career, and it's something that I remember very gratefully.
And you played in the FIBA Cup, and you got a bronze medal and a silver medal there. What was it like playing in something as like worldwide known as something like FIBA?
It's pretty cool. Yeah, every time you put your national team jersey on is something to be proud of. Even more so to have the chance to win a medal or to achieve something as important as that. But I think it happens to American players also when they get the chance to put on the USA jersey or whatever tournament they get to play. So to me, it's the same. It's also just like college, being in the national team. It's also one of the great highlights of my career, and it's something that I also fight every year and try to play for is to go back to the national team and get called in during the summer.
Uh, and what was it like when you made that move to go to Temple? Was it hard to make that move out to the United States?
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It was a big change for me. I was 18 years old, and it was the first time I was leaving my house, my parents, my family, and I was leaving really far away from home. I wasn't. It wasn't for me. It wasn't like if I wanted to go home for the weekend, I was going to be able to do that. It was just not going to work like that. So I knew it was going to be a big change. I was kind of ready for it. I had been preparing for it for a long time. I knew I wanted to go to college when I finished high school. But yeah, there was ups and downs. It wasn't easy at the beginning. Results helped. Good results helped. I was lucky to come to Temple at a time where we had a pretty good team, and we had 4 really good seasons. We made the tournament every year, and as basketball players, winning makes everything better in life. So that made the trip and the change kind of a little bit smoother, I guess.
When you moved to America, did you find it easy to connect to your teammates, or did you find like it a bit harder because of completely different like lifestyles and backgrounds?
I think I was lucky to come into a group of great guys who really kind of understood what I was going through, the big change I was going through, and they try to help me with that. Also, coaches and a whole staff, I would say. Obviously, I made more of a relationship with some of my teammates than others, and I was lucky also to make friendships with them, friendships that stay until today. I still have a relationship with a bunch of them, also with their families. And I think I was lucky in that sense. I found people who really took me under their wing and make the transition and the years I spent there away from my family a lot easier for me.
So in your current team, you play with Milton Doyle, and could you talk about the impact of like former NBA players who are like ready for those bright lights when it's like a big shot needs taken, all eyes are on you. Do you find that those guys who, have experience in the league are better at taking those shots and ready for those big moments?
Well, for sure, experience helps in those moments. Milton this year is a guy who has already hit some big shots for us, and you can tell when the end of the game comes that he's been there before and that he knows what he's doing. But I think it's also part of the experience. Not only for sure, the league, the NBA gives you a huge plus in that sense. But there are also players who have been in Europe for many, many years who play big championships, big leagues, big teams, big players, and they've been there before. They know what kind of pressure you go through in those moments, and they're ready and not scared to take those responsibilities. So, yeah, Milton is definitely one of the go-to guys in our team this year. I've had the chance to play and experience that with a lot of my teammates throughout the years.
And you got invited to play in the Reese's college All-Star game. What was it like playing alongside some of the bigger names in college, like that at that stage?
It was really cool. It was really cool. I got to play in the I think it was in New Orleans. I got to play in the arena where the Final Four was played, even though there weren't any fans there, or not a lot of fans, just our families. But it was pretty cool just to be in there, get some runs. And I also have a great memory of the day before that game where we did sort of a 3-point contest and a dunk contest. I got to be a part of the 3-point contest. I got second place, so that's something I remember also. And I think it was fun. It was a good way to end my college career and have fun with guys that some of them I had played against, some of them I had not. But just to be with them in the hotel and spend a few days with all those guys and build some relationships that some of them even stayed because some of those guys we even came across paths here in Europe even. So I think that is pretty cool to see where everyone's at after all that.
And what is your like diet and workout like to keep up with like the play in Europe?
Well, I've been experimenting with that a lot. I've been asking a lot of players that I know, players that have more experience than me with that, and I think diet, especially, has become a very important part of athletes' shape and also longevity. I think it can help on expanding your career and playing more years. I think it's very personal in that sense. Every diet is not going to work the same for every player, so I think it's trial and error. I think you gotta, as a player, try to find what's best for you, what makes you feel better, and just try to stick with that.
The name Lobito, where did that come from?
It's actually it's a Spanish for little wolf. And it's a nickname that comes from my father. My dad, he used to play basketball in Argentina, and his nickname was the Wolf. It's a long story, but it just came out to be, and that's how people know him there. So as soon as I started playing basketball, it got transferred to me automatically as the Little Wolf, and it just stuck with me.
And because did you find that your father was a great influence on you playing basketball when you decided that you wanted to play basketball for a career?
Yeah, it definitely was. I think I experienced basketball since I was born pretty much because of him, and I think that's a big reason why I liked the sport so much and I ended up playing it. I was also lucky to be gifted with some of his talent, I guess, and be able to play professionally because that's not a given, obviously. And he was definitely a big influence. He still is. He's a coach. After he retired, he started coaching. So we really like to sit down and just talk basketball for hours. So he's still a big influence in that sense to me.
And growing up, did you used to play like one-on-one with your father? And if so, do you remember your first time like beating him in the one-on-one?
Well, actually, I remember that he stopped playing one-on-one against me when I got too big and strong. I think I turned like 13, 14, and I was about his height. And that's the time when he decided he didn't want to play one-on-one with me anymore. So I don't think I ever got to beat him.
And growing up, did you have a favorite player? Uh,
Um, Well, yeah, I had a lot of players that I liked. I liked Pepe Sanchez a lot. He played for Temple also. He's from Argentina, and I was lucky enough to have a relationship with him. Also, he was a big part of why I went to Temple. And obviously, I always watched my dad, and well, to me, the best Argentinian player of all time and our biggest influence is obviously Manu Ginobili, and he's my big idol.
and do you find that Ginobili helped carve the path for players from Argentina to make their way into colleges in the United States and maybe even the NBA?
Well, he definitely helped. He was definitely one of the many that helped. I think about Chapu Nocioni or Luis Scola, and I think all of them were a big part of what came next. That golden generation for Argentina really put Argentinian basketball where it is now. So I think Manu, he just in a way showed us that not only it was possible to get there, but also to make a big name for himself. And I think before it might have been a taboo for us, it was like, oh, the NBA is so far away, is unreachable, and maybe he started showing people that it really wasn't. And then you had guys like even Delfino who came after Prigioni and everybody. I think it was in a way thanks to Manu also.
And when you were younger, like, did you have a favorite NBA team? And is the NBA following in Argentina big like it is, say, in the United States and other North American countries?
It's definitely big. It's gotten bigger since the Argentinian players started getting to the league. Maybe it was when my father's time, we didn't get much coverage of it, but later on, and now we get pretty much all the games if you want to. And now with Facu Campazzo making it to the league, the hype is already high again, and everybody's following him. So yeah, I think it's pretty big, and basketball lovers now. There's the country. It was always a soccer country, but these guys that I mentioned before, Ginobili, Scola, they made basketball huge in the country again, and there's a lot more following now, and so there's a lot more broadcasting, and I think it's the NBA is pretty big in Argentina also.
And when you make a big play like a clutch shot or a dunk, do you have any sort of go-to celebration that you go with?
No, I'm not a celebration type of guy, really. The only thing I can think of is that I don't really do anything, but I wear my wristband here in my arm, which is the wristband that my dad used to wear. And then I have my daughter's tattoo here in my shooting arm. And so those are the things that I remember, when something good happens. But there's no gesture, no nothing. I'm very serious on the court.